FIA Formula 2. It is always an exciting watch. It's always interesting to see which drivers can take to the track in the specification series that it is and dominate the field. Well, we saw a master at that on Thursday, whenever they had qualifying. I get all mixed up with these weird weekends that we're having at the moment, but Ollie Bearman absolutely shone in qualifying. Him and Kushmini seem to be a league above the rest, and he put it on pole, did Ollie Bearman. But next thing we know, he is called up to the Ferrari team and was unable to compete in the rest of the weekend. So, shall we get into talking about the full weekend, what happened, who finished where, and how it affects the championship standings? So in qualifying, we're just going to focus on the top 10. And as you can see at the top of the leaderboard, Oliver Bearman and Kushmini are within less than a quarter of a tenth of each other. Those two both put in incredible laps in qualifying around this Jeddah street circuit where the walls are absolutely lethal. But you probably are wondering, where is Zane Maloney? He was absolutely incredible at Bahrain, but heading into this one, he just couldn't quite put a lap together and he ended up qualifying, I believe it was in P16. Now, the news that broke overnight after this qualifying session saw Kushmini inherit pole position. Brilliant opportunity for Oliver Bearman, and one that he would never, ever, ever have turned down, even if he needed to. But if we get on to the rest of the top 10, we had Jack Crawford in P3, Victor Martins in P4, Enzo Fittipaldi in P5, Kimi Antonelli in P6, Dennis Hauger P7, Isaac Hadjar in P8, Richard Vishaw in P9 and Paul Aron in P10. Now, I've got a video about Pepe Marte, who finished in P11, coming out later on today or tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel for that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're at it. So if you're enjoying this Formula 2 content, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner. We're looking to hit 300 subscribers by the end of April, and I know that you can help me do it by hitting that button down below. So hit that subscribe button right now. So obviously with the news of Ollie Bearman stepping up to Formula 1, it meant that there had to be a tiny reshuffle of the grid. Everyone took a step up in the feature race in the sprint race from the reverse grid. So your top 10, Kushmini went up one, and then P11 was now P10 essentially. So that was interesting to see how that worked. It was a very difficult situation for me because Ollie Bearman is going to want to win that Formula 2 championship, but he's just missed out on mega amounts of points. Now, you're never going to turn down the opportunity to drive a Formula 1 car. You're never going to turn down the opportunity to drive for Ferrari. So he absolutely did the right thing in taking it and saying yes. Now, I don't really think he had much of a choice. He is contracted to Ferrari. So even if he'd have gone, no, I don't want to do it, I doubt they'd have let him actually not do it. Massive opportunity in his career. And the Formula 2 performance and then his Formula 1 performance, I think he had a mega weekend. I put him right at the top of my driver rankings. If you want to check them out, go and check over on my Twitter. Let's now take a look in the sprint race. Let's take a look at how that ended up. Now, in the sprint race, there was some post-race drama with the Trident of Richard Vishaw getting disqualified. Now, that then led to Dennis Hauger taking the win, Paul Aron finishing second, and Enzo Fittipaldi in third. Now, despite Zane Maloney qualifying in P16, he ended up finding himself finishing in P4 at the end of the race. Jack Crawford finished in P5. Antonelli showed an amazing performance to come back and finish in P6. Pepe Marte finished P7. Kushmini in P8. Joshua Dirksen in P9. Gabriel Bortoletto in P10. Carlo Pinto in P11. Ritomo Miata in P12. Taylor Barnard in P13. Villa Gomez in P14. And you'll see Isaac Hadjar and Zach Sullivan both DNF'd from this race. Disappointing for both of them. You also have probably noticed that Victor Martins isn't showing up, and that's because he also did not finish the race. And this is what happens in Formula 2. Some drivers have reliability concerns. Some drivers overcook and they can't make the overtake, and it ends up putting them in the barrier or putting two of them in the barrier, and that is dangerous. Now, despite some dangerous nature to the track and obviously drivers taking chances on overtakes, there was a lot of interesting things happening throughout the Formula 2 grid with the sprint race and the feature race, and I was very impressed with the performances of those drivers. I was very impressed with Kimi Antonelli and Dennis Hauger. I was very impressed with Enzo Fittipaldi over the weekend. And Paul Aron got himself another podium. Now, let's take a look into the feature race where strategy really comes into play. So, as I previously mentioned, Enzo Fittipaldi was very impressive this weekend, as well as Kushmini and Dennis Hauger. They finished on the podium for this feature race. Obviously, this is the race where you have the mandatory pit stop in Formula 2. And I tell you something, some drivers nearly got what they needed. There was a big crash towards the end of the race, and it led to a safety car. Now, I believe it's the option tyres are the faster tyre, not the faster tyre, the better race tyre, they're more durable. And then they have the super soft as sort of like a qualifying tyre. You have to run both in the race. Now, that super soft tyre only lasts really at race pace, probably maximum 9 to 10 laps. Now, Amaury Cordial, I believe, ran that tyre at the end of the race as a result of the safety car, and he picked up a brilliant P5. But Enzo Fittipaldi, on the superb strategy, was able to pass Cordial and another driver further down the order who also had to run that tyre at the end. And Kushmini also ended up with a brilliant finish position. Dennis Hauger and Jack Crawford. There was a photo finish at the end. If you can't tell by the times between Dennis Hauger and Jack Crawford, not even a tenth of a second, not even half a tenth of a second between them at the end. Amaury Cordial just a tenth further back. Now, Kimi Antonelli again finishing P6. He had a really good race, and ultimately he's still learning the car, and I get the impression that he's going to have an Oscar Piastri second half of the season. He seems to be in really good positions. At the next race, let's see. Hopefully, in the upcoming races, we're going to see the Premiers get on the podium. I think there would have been an opportunity with Oliver Bearman in this race, but obviously he took that step up. Zane Maloney again recovering to finish P7. Richard Vishaw finishing in P8. And Villa Gomez in P9. Paul Aron finished in P10. Now, Victor Martins has finally finished a race in Formula 2. He finished in P11. Joshua Dirksen in P12. Taylor Barnard in P13. Correa in P14 and Ratomo Miata in P15. Now, obviously, there is more drivers on the grid than that, but that's all this website is showing me, and this is the Formula 2 website. If you want to go and check it out, go and check out all the drivers and what they do. There's been some impressive performances so far in this Formula 2 campaign. If you want to stay tuned with it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button. Share this video with all your racing friends, and we'll see how the season unfolds. Hopefully, we're going to end up with a Prema Championship winner, but it looks like Zane Maloney is in the boxing seat for that. Zane Maloney looks in the box seat for the Formula 2 Championship right now, but is that going to continue into the next round? You let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button while you're down there and share this video on all your social media. If you have enjoyed this video, then make sure you stick around and I'll catch you in the next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.